highlights and push those out. We are jumping into pick some bans. Kikis, the Zillion, you mentioned it yourself, saying how it would just revive Kog'Maw to die again. We actually saw that happening, but TSM were able to play the map well. Braum, Corki, Kog'Maw, Kalista. When you see all these 80 carries banned out, what does that tell you, Kikis?
I'm actually not that sure because, okay, you ban all of AD carries, there's not many good left, you have Lucian and Ezreal, but it just seems that banning comfort picks ever doesn't seem to playing against Koma because they want to teamfight so much, even if their team tells them otherwise, to just ban it, don't deal with it, and just win the skirmishes.
I'm actually surprised to see that Lee Sin ban coming in last. And, you know, something we haven't seen is that Ever actually is a team that likes to play Fiora, and that hasn't really come into play so far today. I'm curious if it is going to be Alistar or Lucian, because it could just be Lucian and Fiora here taken on the other side of the draft forever. Considering
the performance of Yellowstar today, it feels like Alistar would be the smarter option, and it has been locked in, so the safe pick. And that does allow Nidalee, Gragas, Fiora.
But Aries not much of a Nidalee player. They've been just running Graves. This entire tournament so far. When he doesn't get Graves, he'll play Rek'Sai typically. He isn't really cut from the same cloth as a lot of carry junglers. So I think you've got to take the Lucian here with all these 80 carries being banned out. And there's the Fiora. So this is what I would expect them to take in the first round of this draft.
Going to change in a few seconds, maybe. But the Nautilus is up and available. So for our Tonki player, Kikis, if you see the Fiora locked in, what would you do to either counter this or play into it?
I mean, of course, there's a lot of picks you can actually go for that are fine against Fiora. Like me personally, I think I would go Poppy at this point and just try to teamfight a lot. It's really good versus both Lucian, and you can just lane versus Fiora. You have some windows that you can actually 1v1 and then kill her when you get 2 AD items. And overall, she's such a strong teamfight champion that TSM could just go with her, have some pressure on the Fiora, and then make some TP plays.
And it's something that Hornset has a history of playing as well, so option is available. Ezreal and Elise locked in for TSM, the Bard and the Nidalee. So Ares actually moves away from the Graves. Is that a surprise, Monty?
Yeah, I actually think it is a surprise. We'll see how he does on it. Ares has probably been the least impressive player on Ever so far today. He's been in some pretty awkward situations. I'm curious what he can do on that particular champion, but they're setting up for a 4-1 split composition. However, they are very fragile with the Braum banned out. We didn't see Key hitting the best Bard ultimates in the last game, which really makes me worried.
I think at this point, okay, TSM sees them going for split push. And 4-1 with poke, they should go for mid laner that can actually play TP. Like Lysandra is really good for this, and look for teamfights all the time.
Well, let's see if that gets locked in. 10 seconds left to go. If the Lysandra is locked in, what top laner would you pair with that to help deal with the opposing team comp?
I mean, at this point, I would probably go Lysandra Poppy and then just teamfight a lot. You can even go Malphite and just look for the TP plays, but instead they just try to match the split push because Queen is actually a good pick into Fiora if you play the matchup properly, because after you get one item and then you get QSS, Fiora cannot do much against you unless you screw up.
So team composition locked in for Team Solo and Monty. A little bit more well-rounded this time round. What's your opinion on the complete composition?
I think you do have a strong mid lane presence with the LeBlanc and the Elise. At least you're going to be able to pick up some kills there. You could dive it with the Alistar if you need to. They're still going to be looking to scale up with the blue Ezreal. But again, I agree with Kikis. You can have an advantage in the 4-1 split in that regard if you have that Quinn into the Fiora. I'm a bit surprised. I was going to say Lux is probably the choice they're going to go with here. It's a matchup that is frequently played in Korea. They like to play Lux into LeBlanc because basically when LeBlanc comes in, you can Q onto her distortion when she goes back, and it's very easy to get that burst with a Thunderlord's proc and trade very efficiently with that LeBlanc.
So we have the team compositions now completely locked in. Split push versus split push, and a matchup that Tempt is going to be very familiar with. Kikis, you were wrong when I asked you to predict who was going to win game 1. Let's see if you can predict the correct winner this time round when you see the team comps and you see them play.
I think TSM is gonna win this mostly by just putting a lot of pressure on mid lane and top lane, so they can get both Bjergs and the Hunter ahead. Because if they're ahead, there's not really much they can like stop them. If Ledan gets fed, she can poke all of them. They're immobile and just try to get some catches. And together with Ezreal, if they get like one Cocoon or like Alistar combo, they can just one-shot most of them.
All right, so the tools are in TSM's kit. Monte Cristo, will this be a 2-0?
I think it will be, not because of any compositional reason, but simply because TSM is playing the map better. They were the ones making the aggressive plays. They'll be able to do it again with LeBlanc here. And Ever have looked really discombobulated when it comes to responding to TSM's pressure.
All right, we'll see if TSM can keep the focus going. It is getting late in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Game 2 right after this.
team. I say that because this is almost like a cup game. Effectively, it is a cup game, strangely enough. But in a traditional sport where you'd see an early round knockout stage, you know, these big giants like, I don't know, Man United against some some little small team. Don't you dare say Liverpool.
It's
Don't
like
you
Liverpool
dare
loses to Leicester.
Liverpool.
What's it called, Leicester?
Leicester's good now. Leicester's like legit good.
We're playing Man United in the Europa Cup. It's next week, and I'm going to miss it because I've got a cast. I'm quite sad. But anyway, that aside, complete distractions. Let's get into this League of Legends malarkey.
Yeah.
What do you think of this pick and bans? Because TSM have got a very aggressive setup here, and you yourself were saying, Lissandra, 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 and they went with Lux.
I think Lissandra is a super good pick into LeBlanc, and also I think you could actually try and match some of the 1-3-1 Team Solid Mid is able to pull out later in the game. Beat on this Quinn together with Fiora when you have a TP Lissandra coming in. For me, Lux is just too slow, and I think, yes, she's a pick that's been used into LeBlanc a bit. I think it's a risky matchup, especially because Tempt has not been that great of a player compared to Bjergsen, who has a fantastic tournament so far.
Yeah, it's what like Monty said on the desk. Yes, it's picked a lot into the LeBlanc, because if she dashes straight, you can either aim it at her, or when she distortions back, you can get her. But if ever wants to be the Leicester of this tournament, though, they need to start playing a lot better right now, because it's such a hard composition. Because Bard to play into Ezreal, LeBlanc too, even a mobile Quinn, and at least with Repel, literally everybody is kind of catch free at least once, so you need to catch him twice. By that time, you may as well be dead.
I am happy though we see Crazy play Fiora this game here, because he is a super good split pusher normally, and he's been playing these tanks all tournament long. So I think we might see his real performance now. Problem is Quinn is a really good matchup into Fiora, so there was a counter pick ready for Team Solo mid.
And the one thing we need to not see from ESC ever is the mistakes they make in early game.
Yeah.
Both times they've played, they've been kills behind very early on and been up against it. Yet, as they proved in the first game, their team fighting, it is there. They can skirmish. They will go for those kills. If they don't muck up within the first 10 minutes, they have a very good chance against TSM.
They're already making mistakes, though. Ares had some severe issues clearing his own red buff there. Like, that took like 10 seconds too long as he pathed back and forth in the brush, and the little minion kept kind of resetting there. And literally should never have a lower clear speed than an Elise, yet he is a little bit behind right now compared to Svenskeren. So that's already like, yes, it doesn't really matter. It's only 5 seconds, but in the matchup, as crucial as the jungle sometimes, those 5 seconds can matter, because it's the first guy to the scuttle, the contest, the invade, the reaction, first guy to the play.
We saw it in the last match against Origin. That one little last hit that Fiora managed to make on the tower, which suddenly made everything bit of difference. 10 minutes long, it's transcended into a giant gap.
And we got standard lanes, which is good for Eva's bottom lane, but not very good for Eva's top laner. In this case, Quinn, you really want to keep her down early on. Obviously, she does fine after lanes over the long lanes herself, but she can be a bully here. I also like the fact that Sven is starting on the bottom side, so he's passing towards top side. He will secure Rift Scuttle on top lane, and he's just there making sure Hunter can play super aggressive, and he will always back him up.
He didn't start on the bottom side. He started at the top side. He actually
did he path all the way down?
Yeah, he did. He did Gromp blue buff, path into his jungle to clear it quick enough so Nidalee couldn't counter-invade later on.
Okay, that's smart.
So that's actually really smart adaptation in the matchup, Elise into Nidalee, because normally, as we talked about, if you go equal camp for camp for camp, Nidalee will have a couple seconds advantage on every camp, and then she will challenge you on your Raptors or your Krugs. What Sven did was start top side, leave some camps up, go bot side, and then return to the top side, and he now even beats the enemy jungler to the punch here on the top lane duel 2v2.
Do you see how observant a top support can be? Deficio? I mean, I know he did.
He was lucky. He was randomly looking at that.
He did a lot better than you in
I was looking
in
at
the
you,
game.
man. That's the problem.
That's it. I am a distraction, and I am stood up. I'm towering over you right now.
Well, it is a good path from Sven. Point is, he ends on top side, gets Rift Scuttler, and he's there making sure the Quinn can be aggressive, because there's nothing to do on bottom side here. You're not going to dive an Alistar like level 4.
No, and the risk of counter gank is too big as well, playing into a Bard here, so definitely right there. And you can see the strength of RS too. You don't...
Bard is super weird feet when he flies around.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely that was actually the point I was going to. As we see Rs of the Raptors.
I mean, I've been to your Bard school. I know what you're going to talk about.
You just want to chime in?
I just want... Oh, no.
When do the Krugs come into this?
Never. We don't talk about Krugs anymore.
We're done.
I'm in rehab.
It's a horse that's been flogged to death.
Don't do Krugs.
Let's see what you did there. Well, Key is going to find himself Yellow Star, but he will just walk away and just take a little bit of base damage. Tempt having a little bit of poke back and forward. This is what Monty was talking about, how Koreans do tend to run Lux actually into LeBlanc. And this is honestly, if you're an average solo queue player out there, don't do this, guys. You will lose generally, but these are pro players and pro-ish players. Forever.
I mean, Korean Challenger is still pretty pro overall.
It is.
I just hope. I kind of.
He's talking about Bjergsen.
Oh yeah, he's European. Of course he's pro. I just want to see the Athenes come out, because now you actually have a good reason to build it into the Elise, into the LeBlanc overall. Some magic damage from Ezreal. I just absolutely adore that item, even when people think it's absolute garbage. I just love playing with it because it makes the game a lot easier. Just room for error.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, that wraps up the officials input for this one.
Deep stuff right there.
I mean,
Glad I
hey.
brought you alongside to get involved in this one.
Well, I mean, the matchup is going a bit as expected. Tempo push it early.
It's not going as expected because ESC ever haven't died yet.
That's true.
This is the bonus. They're in a great place right now.
Well, I mean, the standard lanes for now. There's not been any weird invades randomly to die or level ones where you get caught out in the river. I'm not sure how, but you did.
Here we
Bjergsen
go.
Going in again.
Full-on aggression from Bjergsen, getting a good trade on Temp there. Gets out comfortably. Crazy also going to put a bit of trade on him, see how his Fiora is against Haunter. Haunter's trying to get the blinding shot down, but now he's in serious trouble. But in comes Svenskeren. There's going to be a nice catch. The Fang's not quite enough. He's going to try and dive on towards it. He's not going to finish the job here. Crazy should be able to get away, but there's the shot from Haunter. There's the support he needed. And there is the early kill. Well, it's within 7 minutes. Bjergsen forced to split away there. The passive saving his bacon.
Hanser played that so well. I mean, he juked the blind from Quinn, then bought enough time to be just on one vital left to really force that Fiora to kind of greed forward, just as the Cocoon comes flying in.
Confident from Ares.
Perfect play overall there from Hanser.
Just also very good timing on the gank from Sven because Crazy got level 6 first, so that's why he went for the all-in. Even though he's down in CS, he could go aggressive. Sven was then nearby. Again, we talked about having this jungler near top side because your way to win this game is by having a super fed Quinn. Bjergsen is very aggressive in
Tricky
here.
stuff. The Ignite's been used as well, and they're going to try and see if they can finish off Tempt. He does flash away. Now, he has just joined back to lane, and that was Bjergsen's basically all in because he hasn't backed yet. He didn't go and stack himself up. I tell a lie, he may well have. As I look at his items.
Oh, he's cheating and started with a lot of gold.
He could be cheating. Loken's going to catch on towards Yellowstar. Well, we may even force a flash out of Yellowstar here. He's going to just casually, coolly walk away from that one. Very confident play from Yellowstar.
I really like to see what Sven is doing in this tournament as well, because they're actually setting him up to do well. You pick aggressive laners where they can push, and as long as he's nearby, he can always win the 2v2 with your team. Instead of, again, having him these farm junglers with farm mid laners or farm top laners and nothing really happens in the early game. It's just not his style. So I like this change, and I think they're going to bring that back to the NALCS as well after this week.
Yeah, we see the cost of those ganks though, because Ares has continuously just been farming, and that's the way you have to approach Nidalee. You don't go gank for gank, tit for tat. No, you just keep jungling until you get a massive CS lead that when you do meet your jungler opponent 1v1, you completely just wreck him.
It does require him, though, to actually time when Sven is going to be on buffs and then invade onto him.
Yeah.
Because right now he's recalling when red buff is just respawned. So yes, Sven is slightly behind, but he's been feeding one of his laners. Also forced a flash in mid lane, so he's applying a lot of pressure on solo laners, which is super good. And he's not the big carry anyway when you play Elise. I mean, your late game is basically just land a cocoon and then you're done your job.
It's okay, I'm just doing the job for you right now and clipping your mic back in. It's all good. Nobody heard that big clunk.
Things are falling apart here at the caster desk. Randomly, the Fish's mic just unclips.
Got no riot stage, but it's to protect you here, mate.
I think the mic didn't want to listen to me.
Yeah? Can you blame him?
Sorry, what did you say?
Key with the roaming.
Magical journey. It's magical.
What is he doing up here?
He's
Journey.
just...
He's absolutely zero reason to be topside because he's way too late
what's he
anyway.
gonna do with
He
it?
should be bot lane.
There's 3 members of TSM already here. They've got a deep ward.
He just
so
wanted
they know he's
attention.
there.
He's actually basing. He's a strong independent bard. It may be his last game.
No, wait, he cancelled.
It's maybe his last game in the tournament, so he's taking the scenic route off Summoner's Rift, make sure
Well,
he sees every little brush.
That scenic route's going to go to 4 members of TSM as they make their way up. Ares is going to get the bottom tower for this one, but don't forget they've also got Temp's ult. He could come across. I still don't understand what they're doing. And Key's going to get caught out. What?
The most useless
that?
bomb ever.
I mean, I try to defend most bard plays, but this one...
You try to give reasoning for,
You guys
try
just don't see
try
it,
Get
you
in
know.
the mind of a pro player. Sometimes it's just not possible.
Yeah. Bit unlucky there from Key. Find himself at the wrong side of the map. Waits too long, gets... Yeah, kind of.
I'm sure he was called up by Crazy. It wasn't his fault. He was following his teammate's call.
Well, he had no protection at least either, so that was the problem. 2,000 goal differential now for TSM. They have themselves a bulky lead, as we were worried. They've been up against this every single game they've played so far. They've struggled early game.
Yeah.
With Terror going to go down here for TSM as well. That's only going to compound the problems.
I want to see a game 3 though, so I'm just going to go out on a limb and say surely TSM can't fail this game, and they must close this out beautifully, perfectly, and with no fault of their own
Oh
whatsoever.
my word, that was awful. I don't know how he missed that one. The thing is, Bart, he played so well on Bard earlier on. Now, can he try and make up for it here? No, Bjergsen, well, forced to flash away there. Has ever tried desperately to get anything, something together. They're trying to latch onto these plays, and, well, maybe nerves just getting the better of them now.
Or jet lag. They must be tired too.
Sure, I mean, both teams, I guess. TSM also arrived, what, yesterday?
Yep.
Did they only arrive?
I mean,
Actually, they came
Well,
Wednesday.
they came 2 days ago, yeah.
Both teams did. They got to practice yesterday, and then you went on stage today. But obviously, we've been here for, you said, what, 12 hours almost
13.
now? Same for the teams.
And counting. Yeah, it's been a
Hang
long
on.
day. Key's going to get out of this one. No problem. We're up to 14 hours, boys. We're going strong, so what's their problem? It's like they're playing a game or something. We only have to talk about it. There's a good call-in, but Star catches on, gets himself a two-man pulverizer. Key goes down again, and now Loken's in trouble. He's going to try and get away from this one. Aries, the sacrificial lamb, as he dives in. Now, Hunter getting taken low. He's going to drop. It's a one-for-one trade now with Crazy joining in, but Svenskeren comes around the side. There's the challenge straight on towards him. Crazy might catch him out here. He tries to dive in. Sven gets one. Oh, and Aries sneaks out the back door. Bjergsen comes around, will lock him down. Crazy desperately trying to get something. The laser even misses. Crazy. Oh, that's just painful to watch.
But Yellow Star on this Alistar, two crucial combos. One at the start, one at the later stages of this fight. So he's definitely finding his footing again, as opposed to getting like needlessly caught. But TSM overall, quicker on the ball, ready for that play. And ESC ever, they just look completely lost.
I think we've just seen a very important thing about the team solo mid pick and ban phase. It is that Alistar being left open. I think you just need to ban it or steal it away as a first pick. Yellow Star is good on this support. Everything else he's been kind of struggling on.
Yeah. He's starting to wander down. He's in a 1v3.
He's the most aggressive part I've ever seen.
He's got the support. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's got backup. But what are you doing, man?
It's like watching Crepo play solo queue.
This is like tilt territory right now.
What? I take that personally.
It's all
you
right.
can say anything. You can talk about my Krugs, but don't touch my Bard.
Look,
you know?
we've all seen your Twitter. Forgive and carries you. We know he does. Anyway, 7-1, TSM.
Let's see the fight.
Big fight.
Hansa's roaming bot lane. That's something you can do on Quinn. You don't have to use TP.
They can opt out of this fight. They choose to face check into likely where they know an Alistar could exist on
And
the
it's
map.
key face checking.
Yeah, that's new.
I mean,
That's new.
so he rushes in, he goes down, TP comes in from Fiora, she's now joining the fight. Sven is kind of walking behind tower here, joining a little bit later.
Wait, Lux just used her teleport somewhere. So did she just TP mid or cancel her TP? But that's on cooldown right now, because she's joining the fight super late.
Yellow Star.
Tries the snipe as well on Sven, but it's never going to catch. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just, clean-up duty now. They've got wards in both bushes, nowhere to run.
I mean, this laser too, Svenskeren gets out of it. This is just,
And then not got the capability. And the fact the minions finished him off as well. It's just like a kick in the nuts just to finish the game. Peanuts, obviously, is what I meant there.
obviously.
4,000 almost the goal differential. I can't count. It's 3.7.
That generally constitutes as almost 4,000 where I'm from.
Yeah, I know, but like people like to get technical. Oh dear.
Loken, not so
dear.
technical.
Oh, you're just looking
He's
in the
just
future.
Oh dear.
And Key, we've seen this before.
Oh, this is getting very messy now. This is definitely snowballing out of control. See, even threw the observer off. It's just like we need to watch.
Nah, he just assumes that guy's gonna die. He's like, next.
Well, he's just thinking we haven't actually seen double lift CSing yet in this game. We normally get a long period of CS in, but 14 minutes in 10-1. You know what?
What?
They were in this exact same situation. 10-1
mate?
was the kills. This was the goal difference. This is scarily similar to their first game.
And then they had a proper throw.
A proper throw. They had a couple of goes at throwing it. It was a pretty hard effort. It took a lot of work for them. Do we put that down to jet lag as well?
I mean, surely this game.
Where do we go with jet lag?
Surely this game, they can't lose.
Surely.
No.
With this lead. I mean,
Something crazy like a Bard ultimate into a 3-man laser on a Baron has to happen here.
I love
but
the
Key
fact
has not been playing good enough to do that in
But I
this
love
game.
the fact that you even get people like Meteos and co on Twitter, like, they saw it at 10-1's like, right, okay, I'm going to go to bed early. This is clearly over. And everybody's, I'm looking at Twitter, like, everyone's getting up going, wait, what? They lost that game? How the hell did that happen? It really was I believe the phrase is clown fiesta.
I see you have been keeping up with League
I
of
know,
Legends.
I'm so down.
Like how you did
with
the Yamato
buzzwords.
cannon fingers as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You need a little more
Fiesta.
clown fiesta. This game was very, very, very clown fiesta.
Well, there we go. See? Twice the fee. You get 2 people here. Except sadly you don't get a feed here. I just realised. Retail, please. Oh, internal jokes. They never really feed that well on the camera. But as it is, TSM, let's see how hard they can push at throwing. I don't think they can do it this time. I don't think so either. I think they've learned from their mistakes. I think they very much thought, okay, we're not going to go near that Baron. Okay, Crazy still trying it on Horter. He may get himself the kill. He's going to have to dive the tower, though. A good riposte not going to be enough. Crazy gets in. Now, can he get out? That's the question. Ares is going to come to support him, but Bjergsen, he's pretty fed right now. 4-0-1, spear to the face will make him have second thoughts.
For now, he might look for another kill. Tempt. There we go.
There's the ignite, and that's the kill.
That's analyst prediction right there.
That's just pure bait. Bjergsen was like, I'm going to draw out the mid laner. See, he's so deep.
I mean, TSM overall have been pitching a Tempt for Tempt here, continuously outnumbering him.
Oh, the poor guy is only 0-1 though.
0-1.
That's just
He's not taking a key approach.
It's showing contempt to that mid laner. That's what
As they make an attempt on his life.
Yes, we keep on going. Oh, Key, please. Just go back to the fountain. Just go back to the fountain. Loken, you can do the same. This is not looking good. Oh, the ulti didn't even catch on. Just keeps the minions alive a little bit longer so TSM can finish the tower off. This is very much in their hands.
Yes. Again.
I mean, the TSM as a team did a good job keeping their players calm, working on little issues, because they're playing similar things, but they're just executing it a lot better.
Yeah, they were pretty down though after the first game when they walked by the casters. Yeah, of course. I mean, that game was sure
I heard
won.
even a certain caster just was kind of insulting their gameplay as they walked by.
That was a mistake. Me and Dor were talking about the game and how could TSM possibly lose it, and then the team walks around the corner and they all look at us and they're like, oh, hey.
You do realize you have to be critical of these players as well.
Yeah, but not right in front of them, you know?
That's fine. That's fine. They know they've made a mistake.
That's when you rub it in, you know? Do you remember that one time where you guys truly think a goal?
Like 5 minutes ago when that happened?
Yep.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. So did anyone ask the Origin if they wanted to go in the desk after they lost? No. No, too soon? Too soon, okay.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, back to this game. There's not a great deal going on other than TSM in full control of the map. You can see it yourself. You got your eyes. You don't need me to tell you unless you're watching on a, I don't know.
I mean, some people tab out
watching really
during the game. No, a lot of people love listening.
Oh, second screen. Second screen.
Yeah, second screen is
playing an hour round, playing a match, playing
you
a
just kind of look over and you see 11-2, 7k goal lead, Bjergsen is on 5 kills, and then you kind of go...
You just Deficio, Demon, use those sultry voices to guide me through it. Prepo, please, don't talk too much.
It's good ARAM music.
I get told a lot people listen to me just as they're falling asleep. I'm like, is that a compliment? That's a good thing or a bad thing? I gotta be honest. I feel like maybe my voice is putting them to sleep, but here we go.
I'm glad you got my tweet.
This time, 4 people grouped up by the tower, and Svenskeren going to try and catch a play here as we see a lurk around the back, and that is just going to transition across to the middle turret.
That's the rotation from TSM into the mid lane. I'm going to rotate back right now.
It's more like a translation. They kind of took a pretty straight line.
Yeah.
Well, as the guy who is now Monte Cristo after today's broadcast, I say it is a rotation.
I mean, they did pivot from point to point, I guess. You could say that.
Because now they're back. And almost taken tower. Doublift will tank the tower.
There's yellow star.
There he is. Oh, nice flash there. Very well played, but unfortunately... Oh, he is going to get away from this one just about. But it will be the tower once again. So 6 turrets to 2. Big goal difference. 8k at 20 minutes. Very, very convincing performance from TSM here against the ESC.
Yeah, and the important thing is Baron has just spawned, so there hasn't really been a chance to take a stupid Baron and lose the game just yet.
There's still a chance.
I think they are so far ahead now. They've got early towers and they've been playing super well. I mean, full credit to Team SolarMid for picking up themselves after that first game. Obviously, they should have won it. We talked about it, I think, probably a million times so far. And now they've just been playing super well. Ever doesn't really have anything they can offer, not even in game 1.
And it's just so rough against some of these builds, too, to actually like stay on the game, too. The LeBlanc build from Bjergsen actually snowballed super well. Just shreds all your MR. Whitman Nomicon for that CDR overall. Now going to a Void, so he's just not allowing anybody to build any semblance of tankiness. And he just wants to 100-0 them just
I like the confident play they're doing as well right now. They're not trying to set up, try and draw them into the Baron play. They're just like, no, let's just bully straight up the mid. Let's cause Ever some serious problems, force them to play our way. Haunter already peeling off to go down that bottom lane. They're going to get full vision control now of that top half of the jungle.
Push in, then vision, then base for more wards. Push in again. Hopefully don't get caught. If you get caught, you are Alistar.
Oh my word, that's going to be beautiful stuff. Bjergsen gets himself a very easy kill. Key goes down again to double lift. It's a 3-0-6 double lift, 6-0 to Bjergsen. This is just playing brilliantly by TSM now.
Alistar is too good of a pick for Team Solo Mid.
Yep.
Like, it makes Yellowstar look so strong with these engages. He can invade in first, and then he can always just take the fight. I think it's too good of a pick. I mean, I want to see him on Braum again. I want to see him on Janna. We know he's a good support, obviously.
But Alistar hides your weaknesses. And Yellowstar has had a lot of weaknesses, mostly in these lanes.
This is live, by the way, guys. This is not a replay. They are still going fighting.
I mean,
this is proper play-by-play cast.
I know, right?
You can start shouting anytime you want.
The Baron. Yeah,
too slow. Oh, well, it was close. No cigar this time, though. 14-3. 10k goal difference, and I believe you have a thing called a Baron Baron power play here, brought to us by Spellsy. Beautiful little graphic, but sadly, we don't have that.
We don't have access, so we'll have the fixture manually track it.
Yeah.
He's going to do the math right now.
All right, so this is super good by Yellowstar. He gets a 3-man knockup, I believe, after. Yeah, actually, a guy even dies. He would have been 4. Again, this is what you can do with this Alistar pick. It's so hard to collapse on him, and he's always the guy walking in first to set up vision. That's why on some of these other support picks, he gets caught out and he ends up dying because he's the first man invading.
Yeah.
You can't do that against the Alistar. It's too good of a pick for Team Solo Mid.
Just hides lack of synergy very well, as we see Key. Sadly, this is not a replay for Key.
No, they had to pull out the replay early because it's another death for Key. It's a 0-6.
Was that really worth it, though, pulling out the replay to Key dying again? Well, I mean, he's been overextending, honestly. He's been like running forward.
I mean, that's where it all started. It was that massive overextension from Key. We were just wondering what he was doing. It was a 1v3 in the top lane, and then he just got caught. You literally said it at the time, even but way before he got caught. It's like, what is he doing? What is he doing in this position?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just those pressure plays in these tournaments. I mean, these guys won Cologne. They have won tournaments. They won the Kesper Cup. They beat SK Telecom T1. A week after the World Champ, they won the World Championships.
Yeah, but then sometimes...
Then they had a few changes.
If you overdose the magical journeys, sometimes it takes you into a dark place, and then you end up just suiciding in the top lane.
I think he almost went full Thorin on that one. I don't know where to go with that one to finish it off.
Let's just cut the mic.
Let's just like cut. Let's carry on. But Double Lift taking a lot of damage there. He managed to back away. But 8-0 to Bjergsen. Fantastic stuff from him today. And you know, when you get a LeBlanc at this stage doing this much damage, this fed, it's really hard to play against him, especially when you got squishy champions like Tempt is on there with Lux and of course the Lucian.
I wonder how efficient that Void Staff even is at this point, whether Rabadon's isn't even more just pure damage.
It's still good because you're against
Aegis, but
Aegis as well.
He has like 40.
You're just assuming Key's in the team fights. He's normally
sure, if Key's alive to give the MR. It's always a good item because it's so much cheaper as well than Deathcap. You just spike a lot earlier, and you can just keep snowballing from there.
Can I just point out the Haunter is actually the feeder of the team? Nobody else is dying.
Yeah, 100% death participation here. So maybe TSM at the end of this game will walk over to him for a different conversation. Last game, obviously, he carried.
I mean, he had the first kill as well, first blood. He had the support from Sven. Where was that when Dyrus needed it?
In Europe with SK Gaming.
In Europe with SK Gaming, yeah.
Let's see,
things have changed.
One inhib left on top side. 25 minutes. I mean, you can basically one-shot anyone if you're LeBlanc at this point.
Didn't one-shot.
Oh, Key. Close.
And he's the one with the MR.
Oh, he almost jumped into it.
That was just a little sidestep. But there's going to be the inhib turret going down. Third one of the game. A 9-2 tower differential. Dominant performance from TSM here as they try to close out. Looks like they're just going to wait to see if Ever are going to push out, wait for all the minions to come in, get themselves piled up. Triple stacked on in. Crazy's going to get caught out around the side. Didn't really have the damage down there. There we go. Key goes down. Managed to get the ulti off just in time on Yellowstar, but it's not going to do them a great deal of the job. It will be TSM picking up a 2-0 simple victory over ESC Ever, like they should have done this morning. It's been a long old day for both of these teams, but it will be TSM going through into the semi-finals tomorrow. Sunday, balls.
No, he's not here. He's Cloud9.
Yeah.